alongside Raf Thomas Edwards, Josh Rogers and Delpesh playing inside. And looking at the starters for the Manchester Giants, it's Hudson and McKnight in the backcourt, Jamel Anderson, Dan Clark and Gino Artisan. And of course, Tariq Armstrong missed the game on Sunday against the Surrey Scorchers. We did see him warm up, but again, looks like he's not going to be starting this game tonight for the Giants. Here is Anderson up against Thomas Edwards. Tough shot inside is no good. Thomas Edwards saves it from going out of bounds, and Mike Miller comes the other way. Miller kicks out to Thomas Edwards, hands off with Evans. Here's Miller now. Delpesh has good position inside, and the hook shot is good. And it's Bristol Flyers that get the first field goal of this game. Here is Clark. Hudson, top to Clark. Three-pointer is no good. Miller kicks out to Rogers, pulls up for three. No good on the triple. Ball falls out of bounds, and it will go back to the Bristol Flyers, the Manchester Giants. Artisan guarded closely by Josh Rogers. McKnight now swings to Hudson, guarded by Thomas Edwards here. The shot clock's down to 5. McKnight pulls up for 3 on the wing and knocks it down. Martavius McKnight, his first three-pointer of the game. Of course, Manchester shot the ball incredibly well the last time these two teams met at the Wise campus, up around the 60% range for the majority of the game. Delpesh turns it over. The pass was just a little bit too much for Marcus Evans. Here is Hudson, who brings it up over the timeline. 1 point lead for Manchester early on. Clark swings to McKnight, looking for Anderson. Hudson now. Anderson's cutting back door. Hudson to the basket, off the glass, no good. Rebound is gobbled up by Evans. And Flyers have numbers here, and quickly it's stolen back. Great defense from Manchester, and they're rewarded with a Jack Hudson layup. Manchester have extended their lead to 3 points early on. Evans looking for Thomas Edwards, and it's stolen away by Anderson. Good defense from the Giants. Flyers just struggling to move the ball early on. Almost shades from the game on Friday night against the Sheffield Sharks. Here's Hudson on the baseline. Anderson. Back top to Hudson. Ball screen comes from Clark. Now McKnight, top of the key. Swings to Clark. Great pass inside to Hudson. And he gets fouled by Josh Rogers. Will be Giants to inbound from the baseline though. Foul was called on the floor. And Manchester Giants showing some good signs of ball movement early on in this game. Clark thought about the three, top to Anderson. McKnight pulls up from mid-range 2, is short, rebounded by Rogers. Evans swings to Thomas Edwards, pulls up for the triple, it's way off the mark. Thomas Edwards, and the rebound gathered in by Artisan. Hudson, ball screen comes from Clark. Swings to Anderson, who's on the baseline. Drives middle, screen comes from Clark, it's fading away, and a foul is called. It'll be a second team foul on the Flyers. You see there just composure from Anderson able to draw in the contact. Jamel Anderson finds himself at the line to shoot 2. He had 6 points and 3 rebounds against the Bristol Flyers just 10 days ago. He's a 77% free throw shooter on the season, and he knocks down them both. Just a single field goal scored by Bristol in these first 4 minutes or so. Here is Delpesh inside, off the glass and in. And Malcolm Delpesh is 2 for 2 from the field early on. Artisan fakes the 3, drives inside, fading away. Nothing but net for Gino Artisan. And that is a tough shot from the Manchester Giants. Stolen away again. Good hustle from Hudson. It will be a jump ball with the arrow pointing towards the Bristol Flyers. And there you see that fade away from Artisan. Great game from him the last time these two teams met. 17 points against the Flyers here at the Wise campus. Shane Walker's checked into the game for the first time tonight. Evans goes downhill. Layup is no good, but the offensive rebound gathered in by Miller. Again, second chance opportunity, a third chance opportunity coming up. The jump ball this time will point towards the Giants, and they will get the ball back here. Approaching the midway point now of this first quarter. Here is McKnight, swings to Steele. Calling for the ball screen from Clark. Artisan pulls up for 3. Ball goes in and out. Offensive rebound gathered in by McKnight. Back down low to Clark. Extra pass to Artisan, and that is fantastic ball movement from the Manchester Giants. And Coach Kapoulas looks to call an early timeout. His side trailing 4 points to 11 with 5 minutes to go in the first. It's been a fantastic start from Manchester Giants, sharing the ball incredibly well. 9-4 run to start this game, and Coach Kapoulas no choice but to call for timeout. McKnight leads the way with 3 points so far. Hudson on 2, Anderson on 2, Artisan on 2. Sharing the load for Manchester. Meanwhile, just 4 points for the Bristol Flyers, all scored by Malcolm Delpesh. Well, Manchester starting to work into this deep bench of theirs they've got. They lead the league in bench scoring, 28.4 points per game off the bench. Whilst the Flyers, they're 9th in the league in bench scoring, just 15 points a game for their bench. Could be crucial as this game winds on. Big head-to-head on the line. Rare Tuesday night game at the Wise campus. Packed house here this evening. Ball in, here comes Jacob, he's got some momentum. Finds Evans, who pulls it back out. He's guarded by Steele. Swings to Jacob, down low to Delpesh. He's backing down Clark, back out to Walker. Open for 3, and drains the 3. Shane Walker knocks down his first 3-pointer of the game. They've cut the lead down to 4 here, the Flyers. Anderson backing down. Guarded by Miller, spins inside, puts it up, puts it in off the glass for 2. And that is a strong finish for Jamel Anderson. They're showing some early pressure here, the Giants. Jacob back to Evans. Shot clock down to 10. Evans drives inside, down the lane, lays it up, but gets called with a foul. And that will send Marcus Evans to the line to shoot two. You see it on the replay, just clobbered on the arm by Artisan. That'll be his first team foul, but he will head to the bench. Will Saunders comes into the game for the first time for Manchester. Evans gets a friendly roll on the first. He's coming off a 26-point game in the overtime defeat to Sheffield on Friday. Knocks down the second, and he will head to the bench. Corey Samuels is getting set for his first action of the game this evening. Here's Steele. He's being guarded closely by Jacob. Finds Saunders. Steele going back door. Clark, extra pass to Anderson. Fakes the three, drives inside, and a blocking foul is going to be called on Walker. It will be the Flyers' fourth team foul of this period. Manchester are now in the bonus. It's going to be Steele to inbound. Ball into Anderson, who goes back door, gets a friendly roll. And a couple of times Bristol have been caught napping on the defensive end with those backdoor cuts. Miller swings to Jacob. Deep three on the way. Back iron, no good. Delpesh tips the rebound, but it falls out of bounds. Zach Simmons coming into the game for the first time tonight. Malcolm Delpesh takes a seat for the Bristol Flyers, and Jack Hudson returns to the game as McKnight takes a breather for the visitors. Here's Steele, guarded by Samuels. Hudson takes a screen from Clark. Backdoor cut to Jamel Anderson, off the glass, no good, and it's rebounded by Miller. Miller down low to Simmons, can't convert on the high arcing shot off the glass. And now here comes Manchester the other way. Steele drives baseline, kicks out to Clark. Corner three ball on the way is good for Dan Clark. And just like that, the Giants have opened up a 9-point lead. It's their biggest lead of the game so far tonight. Here is Samuels. Finds Mike Miller. Shot clock's down to 6 seconds. Walker again open for three. Extra pass to Jacob, who's wide open on the wing. Ball goes in and out, and Flyers unlucky not to get something out of that possession. Hudson. Guarded by Shane Walker, top to Clark. Swings to Saunders, it's stripped by Miller, but only into the hands of Clark. Here's Hudson going back door. Shane Walker needs to get back on defense here. Saunders, offensive rebound, can't finish. And it will stay with Manchester with a new 14. Mike Miller and Corey Samuels both take a seat for the Flyers. There's Raf Thomas Edwards and Marcus Evans both return to the game. David Olf into the game for the first time. He didn't play in the last meeting between these two teams. He had a great game in the first meeting though. This game certainly suits his physical style of play, and Saunders has to jack it up with the shot clock winding down. Good defensive possession from the Bristol Flyers, who force a 24-second shot clock violation. Marcus Evans brings it up over the timeline. 9-point lead for Manchester, just inside the last 2 minutes of the first. Evans wide open, dances inside. Second chance opportunity is good, and he gets the friendly roll. that's one thing that Bristol have done so well this season, gathering in the offensive rebounds. Second chance points. Anderson mid-range 2, back iron no good. Ulf with a second chance opportunity of his own, and it's stolen away by Thomas Edwards. And Flyers have numbers, and Thomas Edwards blows the dunk but gets the foul, and he will go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. You see it here on the replay. Flyers a 2-on-1 opportunity as Thomas Edwards ends up on the deck. Shane Walker heads back to the bench. Josh Rogers returns to the game for Flyers. Raf Thomas Edwards no good on the first free throw. Of course, he missed a couple of crucial free throws in that fourth quarter on Friday, as the Flyers were unable to put that game away against the Sharks. He's a 63% free throw shooter on the season. And again, Thomas Edwards goes 0 for 2 from the line. Final minute of the first, Giants on top 18 points to 11. Here's Hudson, finds Ulf at the top of the key. Hudson driving inside, extra pass to Holfen. That's a great pick and roll for the Manchester Giants. Evans drives inside all the way to the hole, lays it up, the lefty lay, and is good. Ball screen comes from Anderson. It's going to be an offensive foul on the screen, says the official. But moving on the screen, ball will go back to Bristol here. Final 38 seconds of the first. Evans swings to Jacob, inside to Simmons, who has position against Ulf. Turnaround hook is way off the mark. Good hustle from Manchester. Steele comes away with it. Shot clock is turned off here. Hudson, there's 10 seconds left in the first. Ball screen comes from Ulf. Hudson drives left, floats it up, can't finish. Flyers have to move quick here. There's 2 seconds to go. Jacob for 3. Knocks it down on the buzzer. And Bristol Flyers will head into the huddle at the end of the first quarter, trailing by 4 after Giants led by as many as 9. Manchester. Well, we're underway for the start of the second quarter. Here's Josh Rogers, finds Simmons at the 3-point line. Jacob takes the screen from Simmons, finds Evans, who pulls up for 3 and knocks it down. And 3-pointers either side of the first quarter break cuts the lead down to 1. Artisan down low to Ulf. Back to Artisan, the corner 3 ball on the way, and nothing but net for Gino Artisan. And he lets Josh Rogers know about it on the way back on defense. Evans inside to Simmons. Simmons loses control of it and turns it over to the Giants. Artisan thought about the 3, steps back, kicks it to Hudson. Hands off with Saunders. Here's Ulf now. Back to Saunders. Saunders drives middle. It's stripped loose by Simmons. And there's a foul called on Saunders. Smart foul in the end from him, as Bristol Flyers had numbers the other way in transition. And you see it there, body check from him, did just enough to stop the fast break. Here's Evans directing traffic now for the Flyers. Rogers on the wing, top to Simmons. Jacob almost stripped loose by McKnight. Shot clock down to 10. Jacob drives inside, all the way to the hole, is too long on the layup. Simmons tries to hustle for the rebound, but it ends up in the hands of Saunders. McKnight driving inside, lobs it up to Ulf, who steps on the baseline, and it will go the other way to the Bristol Flyers. Dan Clark returns to the game. Ulf takes a breather on the bench. Here's Josh Rogers. Down low to Simmons, backing down Clark. Looking for Evans. Comes off his foot, I believe. And again, a couple of turnovers from each of the teams. Hudson guarded closely by Evans. Looks like Delpesh is getting set to return to the game for Bristol. Hudson guarded by Evans again. Saunders this time for three. Back iron no good. Rebound is chased down by Rogers. Evans takes a screen from Simmons, pulls up with a mid-range two. Bit flat on that one. Rebounded again by Manchester. Here's McKnight now. Clark fakes the handoff, looks for McKnight, pulls up for three, he's open, is short. Rebound falls out of bounds. And Mike Miller and Malcolm Delpesh both looking to return to the game. Zach Simmons and Trajan Jacob take a seat. Coach Kapoulas really working through his rotation. He knows his side have a lot of action coming up this week. Tonight, the first of 4 games in the next 7 days. Evans. Got the plays broken down here. Evans takes a screen from Delpesh. Evans floats it up, floats it in. And Marcus Evans gets the 2 to fall. He's now got 11 first half points. Artisan pulls up for 3, no good. Clark tips it, but only to the hands of Delpesh. Everything's going through Marcus Evans right now, and he just turns it over to Delpesh. A little bit too much on the pass. A bit too much zip on that one. Timeout has been called on the floor. Bristol Flyers have narrowed the gap down to 2 after trailing by as many as 9 points. You see Coach Kapoulas just having a few words with Marcus Evans there. He's got 11 points in 10 minutes so far for the Bristol Flyers. He also has a couple of turnovers as well, so sure, a few words from Coach Kapoulas there to his point guard as he just talks things through here. They trailed by as many as 9, went on an 8-0 run at the back end of the first quarter, and threes either side of that first quarter break cut it down to a 1-point game at one point. Here you see some of the highlights of the game so far. There's that 3-point buzzer beater from Jacob to end the first. And then Marcus Evans getting in on the action as well from behind the 3-point line. Well, 6 minutes 39 seconds to go in the first half, and after conceding 20 points in the first quarter, Flyers have held Manchester to just 3 points so far in this quarter. As we get back underway, here's Steele, guarded by Miller. Still Josh Steele finds Clark. Clark, step back 3 on the way, is short. Thomas Edwards grabs the rebound. Looking for Miller, who just about saves it from going out of play. Miller, double team comes, finds Rogers in the end. Rogers down low to Delpesh, who pulls up from the short corner. It's rebounded by Dan Clark. Steele, down low to Artisan. It's guarded by Rogers, backing him down all the way. Fakes it, puts it up. It's short. Offensive rebound is gathered by Saunders, but it's stripped away by Miller. Delpesh inside on Clark. Strong move, can't come up with the goods inside. Here comes Steele the other way. Stolen back by Thomas Edwards. Good hustle from the Flyers. He's looking for a leaking Mike Miller, who's all alone to the basket. Lays it up off the glass. And we are tied up at 23 points apiece. McKnight. Ball screen comes from Clark. Clark's open, but drives it inside. Spins on Delpesh. Almost loses it. Steele has to fire up and drains it. Josh Steele with the triple. Puts Manchester on top by 3. Thomas Edwards splits the D all the way to the hole. The reverse layup is off. Saunders with the miss. Here's McKnight. Screen comes from Clark. McKnight has an open lane, kicks out to Artisan, fakes the 3, drives inside. It's a beautiful layup for Gino Artisan. And just like that, Manchester are back on top by 5. Evans down low to Delpesh. Looking to kick it out to Miller, but last touch by Steele. And Trajan Jacob getting set to return to the game. Thomas Edwards takes a seat. Also Saunders takes a seat as Jamel Anderson returns to the ball game. Jacob open in the corner, knocks it down, and Manchester Giants caught napping on the inbounds play as Jacob makes it a 2-point game. Evans with the steal. Evans driving to the hole, lays it up and in, and Bristol Flyers respond to a 5-0 run from the Giants with a 5-0 run of their own. Here's Anderson. Clark's calling for it down low, ends up with him. Extra pass into Anderson, it's stolen by Miller. And Jacob this time in transition, puts it up, puts it in. And Bristol Flyers, their first lead of the game, as coach Lloyd Gardner calls for time. And Lloyd Gardner not happy. He thinks there was a foul called on that last possession where Flyers got the steal. It resulted in Jacob leaking out in transition. You felt like he was going to dunk it, but just lost his footing. There you see Miller with the layup, and then Jacob knocking down the baseline triple off the baseline and a bounce. And then here you see the steal from Evans. Goes coast to coast to lay it up and in. It was good defense from Manchester back in transition, and that's the play that Lloyd Gardner was wanting to speak to the official about, as Jacob goes the other way and puts it in for 2. And this is Bristol Flyers' first lead of the game after trailing by as many as 9. Marcus Evans now up to 13 points to lead the way for Bristol. Trajan Jacob has 8 points off the bench. And Manchester are led by Gino Artisan, who has 9 points of his own. Jamel Anderson is up to 6 as the second leading scorer for the Manchester Giants. Where it's going to be Anderson here to inbound from the baseline. Bit of full court pressure being shown by the Flyers. Able to get it to Steele over the timeline. Here's McKnight. Ball screen comes from Clark. McKnight again. Drives it inside. Kicks it out to Steele again for 3. This time is long, but the offensive rebound is gathered in. The shot clock's not been reset though, and Giants have to shoot as the shot clock expires. A new 14 now for Manchester. Clark puts it up, puts it in, and ties the game up at 30 points apiece. And it looked like Clark was complaining on the on that finish, looking for a foul in there somewhere, and the official just Oh, has he called a technical foul? He has called a technical foul. It's going to send Miller to the line to shoot the technical. And I couldn't quite hear the whistle there on that play, but a technical foul was called on Clark after speaking to the officials after that play. And Flyers will get possession here following the technical as well. Inside the final 3 minutes of the first half, Flyers on top by 1. Here's Jacob, hands off with Miller. Back to Jacob, shot clock at 10. Ball screen comes from Delpesh. Jacob, again a deep three, splashes the triple. A foot from outside the three-point line, knocks it down. Here is Steele, guarded closely by Samuel, and it's stolen by Jacob. And he's all out in transition and throws it down. Trajan Jacob with the jam. And Bristol Flyers are on top by 6. McKnight looking for Anderson, extra pass to Artisan. McKnight. Ball screen comes from Clark. McKnight on the free throw line. In and out, no good. Rebounded by Miller. The Flyers are out and running here. It's Miller, drives it inside. Foul is called. And that will be a 4th team foul on the Manchester Giants. Well, Callum Jones is set to enter the game for the first time tonight. Will Saunders also comes in. Artisan and Steele will both take a seat, and you can see here the replay of the foul. We'll send Miller to the line to shoot 2. He's got 3 points so far tonight, 4 rebounds for him. He had 7 points and 9 rebounds in just 23 minutes the last time Flyers faced against the Giants. He's slowly been working his way back up to full fitness. 13.6 rebound effort in the overtime defeat to Sheffield on Friday. It seems as though he's just returning to full fitness just in time for this playoff push for Bristol. A welcome addition to the team after missing 3 months of the season earlier on for the Flyers. Here's Jones, top to McKnight. Shot clock's at 10 here. Clark spins on Delpesh, drives inside, and a foul is called on Malcolm Delpesh. He will send Dan Clark to the line to shoot 2. You see him here on the replay spin, and does well to draw the contact there, Dan Clark. Samuels heads to the bench for the Bristol Flyers. Evans comes back in for Bristol. Clark is good on the first. And what an addition he's been to this Manchester team this season. It's been great to have British talent back in the BBL, even more so when it's the GB captain. It's certainly been a pleasure to watch in the league this season. Here's Miller looking inside for Delpesh, and it's stripped by Clark. And here comes Manchester the other way. McKnight. It's going to be a foul on Evans. It's going to be called on the floor. No, it's going to be a shooting foul. He was starting his gather step, as you can see here on the replay, as he picked it up, and there's the foul on Evans. So McKnight earns himself a trip to the line. Chance to chip into this Bristol lead. Of course, McKnight had that short spell with the club. He departed just before the BBL Cup final and then returned to the club just after the final. Has been a welcome boost to this team, averaging 12 points and 4 assists a game for the Giants. And although it does look like Tariq Armstrong's not going to play in this game, so extended minutes for him today you can expect. Here's Josh Rogers into the final minute of the first half. Miller turns the corner, lobs it up to Delpesh, who throws it down with an alley-oop slam. And great offense for the Bristol Flyers. Anderson looking to respond. Here's McKnight, spins on Evans. The fadeaway jumper rattles around the rim, but bobbles back out into the hands of Rogers. There's around 5 seconds between shot and game clock here. Evans dribbles inside, kicks it inside to Delpesh. The hook shot gets the friendly roll for Malcolm Delpesh. And I think Miller picks up a delay of game warning for touching the ball after it went through the net. There's 7.1 seconds here on the clock. Giants a chance to get the last shot of the first half. Clark to inbound, finds Anderson. 5 seconds to go. Here's McKnight, floats it inside to Callum Jones, and a well-executed offense for Manchester as they get the 2 as the buzzer expires. And these teams will head into the locker room. Bristol Flyers on top, 42 points to 35. And despite trailing by as many as 9 points in the first quarter, 42 points to 35. After the first 20 minutes, Flyers are led by 13 points apiece from Trajan Jacob and Marcus Evans. We are underway for the start of the third. It's McKnight. Ball screen comes from Artisan. Swings to Clark. McKnight looking for it off the screen, pulls up for 3. Back iron no good. The long rebound is chased down by Miller. Good hustle from the Flyers. Miller finds, Evans finds Miller, back to Evans. Miller down low to Delpesh, hook shot inside, gets a friendly roll. And Malcolm Delpesh with the first field goal of the second half. Hudson almost falling out of bounds, down low to Clark, called it a little bit further out than his comfort zone, but backs Delpesh all the way down and able to draw the foul. We'll send Dan Clark to the line to shoot 2. 7 points so far tonight for him, to go along with 2 assists. Can't convert on the free throw. He's an 80% free throw shooter on the season. Second one is good though. And Delpesh puts it inbounds to Evans. Delpesh hands off with Evans, back inside to Delpesh. Delpesh's hook is no good and is rebounded by Artisan. There's a good shot out of that possession for Bristol. Clark again backing down Delpesh, and it's stolen by Evans. Good defense from the Flyers as he comes out of nowhere and he lobs it up to Miller with the alley-oop. Mike Miller, the athletic play, throws it down. Anderson takes a screen from Hudson. Anderson looking back door for McKnight. Back out to Hudson. Driving inside. Lobs it up to Artisan. Off the side of the backboard. Shot clock winding down here. Clark has to shoot and the 3-pointer is good from Dan Clark. Evans driving inside. Can't convert on the layup. There's Delpesh on the follow. Third chance opportunity now for the Flyers. Evans pulls it back out. The shot clock is down to 6. Evans spins, snakes inside. The layup is no good. As Clark tips it out of bounds. There'll be a new 14 for the Bristol Flyers. Evans to inbound here. Finds Rogers. Hands back to Evans, who drives inside and draws the foul. It's going to be called on the floor, says the officials, so the Flyers are going to inbound this ball from the baseline, from the side even. Rogers open for three. No good on the triple. It's a good box out from Anderson. Here's McKnight now. It's guarded by Thomas Edwards. Clark with the screen. McKnight drives inside. Evans with the rebound. Evans pushing in transition. Spins, kicks out to Miller. Drives baseline, all the way to the basket. Count it, and a foul. Mike Miller, chance to go to the line for a bonus. Well, Raf Thomas Edwards takes a seat. Trajan Jacob returns to the game for Flyers, who had 13 first half points. Well, Mike Miller converts on the three-point play, gets his tally up to 10 points personal. Here's Clark, top to McKnight. Extra pass for Anderson, turns the corner, puts it up, draws the foul. Flyers were just reaching in as Anderson curls off the screen, and that will send Jamel Anderson to the line. Well, it's been a strong season so far for Jamel Anderson. Of course, made that switch from the Leicester Riders over the summer. Big time move. One of the top defensive players in the league year after year. Coming into tonight off a 14.9 rebound game in the win over Surrey on Sunday. Eight-point lead for the Flyers. There's 7 minutes to go in the third. Delpesh to Rogers. Looking inside for Delpesh, but Jacobs open for three. Knocks it down, and you cannot give Trajan Jacob an inch of space from the three-point line. And Bristol Flyers have extended their lead to 11 here. It's their biggest lead of the game so far tonight. McKnight swings top to Artisan. Thought about the three. Steps back, does shoot the three. Back iron, no good. Rebound tip to Delpesh. Flyers have numbers if they're quick enough. It's lobbed up to Delpesh, who throws it down. Malcolm Delpesh connects on the alley-oop. And Bristol Flyers have raced out to a double-digit lead in this third quarter. Timeout by Manchester. It was a great connection on the alley-oop play. You see it here. Flyers 3-on-2 opportunity, and Miller just puts it on a plate for Malcolm Delpesh. Just throw it up there and he'll go get it. And that gets Malcolm Delpesh up to 12 points for the Flyers. There's 4 players in double figures for Bristol so far, led by Trajan Jacob, who has 16 points. And Marcus Evans not far behind on 13 of his own. And then for the Manchester Giants, they are led by Dan Clark, who has 11 points on 2 for 4 shooting from behind the three-point line. And it's almost the reverse of the game that we saw between these two teams just 10 days ago, where Manchester Giants had a double-digit lead for the majority of the game, and then Bristol Flyers able to chip away at that lead. They made it a 4-point game at one point with around 4 minutes to go, and that was the closest they got. Let's see if Manchester Giants can respond here with a run. Bit of full court pressure being shown by the Flyers. McKnight now. Guarded by Miller. McKnight takes the screen from Clark, kicks out to Saunders. The baseline three is short, and it's rebounded by Rogers. There's a good look there from Saunders. Approaching the midway point now of this third quarter. Delpesh finds Rogers. Top to Jacob again, open for three, and he gets fouled from shooting the triple, and that will send Trajan Jacob to the line to shoot three. See if we can see it here on the replay. Couldn't quite see it from our angle, but the referee deems there was contact on the shot, so that will send Jacob to the line to shoot 3 here. He's got 16 points so far tonight, 4 for 6 from behind the 3-point line. Jacob comes up, no good on the first. And Flyers of free throw shooting has really been their Achilles heel this season. 11th in the league. 10th in the league even. Jacob converts on the second. The third is good for Jacob, who gets his tally up to 18 points. It's a 15-point lead now for the Flyers. Held the Giants to just 6 points so far in the third in 5 minutes. Ball skipped to Saunders, who fakes the 3, drives inside. Good defense from the Flyers. They recover well, and it's stripped by Evans. Great defense from Bristol. Evans now pushing in transition, drives all the way to the hole, can't finish on the layup, and it's rebounded by Clark, and now Manchester have numbers. It's Artisan, fouled by Rogers, and that is a smart foul from him because Manchester Giants had a 3-on-1 opportunity. Rogers did just enough contact for him to miss the lay-in. We'll send Artisan to the line to shoot 2. Raf Thomas Edwards returns to the game. Mike Miller takes a seat for the Flyers. Well, Artisan gets his tally up to 10 points tonight to go along with 3 rebounds. He's averaging 8 points and 5 rebounds a game in his first season as a Giant. He goes 1 for 2 from the line. Midway through the third is Delpesh. Swings to Evans. Evans drives inside, kicks it to Jacob. Blows the dunk. Trajan Jacob. Flyers did all the hard work. There's a great look from Jacob, and Evans wraps it up. It will be a jump ball, with the possession arrow pointing towards the Flyers. Well, it was a well-executed offense for Bristol. Jacob comes up short on the dunk, and then, despite Giants getting the rebound, Evans did really well to get his hands to the ball. Inbound by Jacob. Here's Rogers, top to Evans. Ball screen comes from Delpesh. Evans pulls up with a mid-range 2 and knocks it down. Marcus Evans gets his tally up to 15. Saunders, guarded by Rogers. Coming off the screen, looking for Clark, who's backing down Delpesh. Spins, hook shot, back iron. Rebounded by Rogers. Ball into Delpesh, is well cut out by McKnight, and Jacob chases it down. Great hustle from him. Skips to Thomas Edwards, who brings it back out here. Drives inside though, fakes it, puts it up, can't finish. It will stay with Bristol though, and there is 8 seconds on the shot clock. Shane Walker back into the game for Flyers. Josh Rogers takes a seat, and Corey Samuels returns to the game. And it's going to be, I think, Marcus Evans who takes a seat as he heads off the court. He's got 15 points and 5 assists so far tonight, and gets himself a well-deserved rest. Looking for Walker there, and Anderson did well to get his hand to it. He'll be Flyers again from the baseline, but this time from the other side of the basket. Samuels to inbound, looking for Delpesh, but ends up with Thomas Edwards, who able to draw the foul. It's going to be a foul on Jamel Anderson, and that will send Thomas Edwards to the line because Manchester Giants are in the penalty here. it's been a tough night for Thomas Edwards so far. Yet to score. He has 4 rebounds, though, in 15 minutes of court time so far. So he knocks down the first free throw. Averages 11.4 points and 5.5 rebounds a game in his 3rd year with the Flyers. He knocks down the second, and Delpesh will take a seat. Simmons returns to the game for the Flyers. Bit of full court pressure shown from Manchester. They break out of it as Saunders drives inside. Extra pass to Ulf, who's just checked into the game and picks up a quick 2. And Giants able to quickly break out of the Flyers press there. McKnight got his hand to the ball and knocked it out of bounds, but it will stay with Bristol. Ball into Samuels, back to Thomas Edwards. Here is Trajan Jacob, shot clock down to 10. Skips to Walker, open on the wing, way off the mark, and it's rebounded by Saunders. Pull-up mid-range is no good for McKnight. Jacob with the rebound. Both teams have gone dry here. Jacob splits the D, kicks out to Walker again. He likes that spot. And again, Walker can't convert on the triple. 0 for 2 on the last 2 trips. Here is Ulf. Hands off with McKnight. Ball screen comes from Ulf. Samuels is guarding McKnight. Down inside to David Ulf. Kicks out to Saunders. The shot clock winding down, and has a tough shot from Saunders, no good. It's rebounded by Walker. There's 2.5 minutes to go in the 3rd. Walker thought about the 3, finds Thomas Edwards though. Samuels looking to call a play here for the Flyers. Walker back to Samuels. Shot clock's down to 6 seconds here. Samuels has to go to work as he draws the foul, and that will send Corey Samuels to the line for 2 shots. And just when the play was breaking down, Samuels knew just how long was left on the shot clock. Had something going to the basket. There were Giants in a bonus, Giants in the penalty even. That will send Samuels to the line. And he really had a great season for the Bristol Flyers this year. First season back with the BBL team after coming through the junior program at the club. And extended minutes with that injury to Mike Miller earlier in the season as well. He goes 2 for 2 from the line. Makes it an 18-point game for the Flyers. 2 minutes and 20 to go in the 3rd. Here is Saunders, fakes the 3, drives inside, all the way to the hole. Ends up with steal. Shot clock's down to 6 seconds though. Here's Jordan Whelan into the game, and count it. Jordan Whelan straight into the game and makes an instant impact. And he will go to the line for a 3-point play. Shane Walker heads to the bench. Marcus Evans getting set to return to the game. Corey Samuels takes the seat. And Jordan Whelan finds himself at the line, averaging 5.9 points per game off the bench for Manchester. No good on the bonus. Manchester have shifted to a zone defense here. Rogers gets it at the top of the key. Jacob fakes the 3, drives inside, step back for a mid-range 2, and Jacob drains it from the baseline. Trajan Jacob is on fire in this game. Saunders coming off the screen is blocked by Simmons. Good defensive possession that time from Bristol. Evans hands off to Thomas Edwards. Now Jacob back inside to Raf Thomas Edwards. Looking inside, and Thomas Edwards ends up on the deck. It's stolen by Steele. And here comes Jordan Whelan the other way. Kicks out to Steele. Ulf down low. He's guarded by Simmons. Backing down the big fella. Hands off with Whelan, who lays it up and lays it in. And Jordan Whelan has a quick 4 points. Into the final minute now of the third quarter. Giants staying in this zone defense here. Ball into Jacob. Simmons even puts it off the glass and in. And that is a vulnerable spot in that Giants zone defense. And Zach Simmons took full advantage. Great pass into Steele, and it's stripped by Evans off the leg of Steele. And Bristol will get it back here. Just when you felt that it was going to be an easy lane for Manchester. There you see that mid-range two from Jacob, who gets his tally up to 18 points off the bench to lead all scorers in this game. There's 10 seconds here between shot and game clock. Jacob swings to Miller. Ball screen comes from Rogers. Evans skips to Miller. Extra pass to Rogers. Open for three. Back iron, no good. Comes off the top of the backboard. Is rebounded by Ulf. Final 10 seconds of the third. Giants will hold for this last possession. Steele, Saunders. Spins inside, it comes off the foot. They have to shoot here with 2 seconds to go. And Artisan drains it on the buzzer. And that is exactly what Manchester Giants need going into the fourth quarter. They have an uphill battle on their hands. Here is Steele. Start the fourth quarter, finds Ulf. McKnight, offensive foul is called on David Ulf on the screen. Ball will go back to Bristol here. See if you can see it on the replay. Yeah, just turning into Miller as he was setting the ball screen. And that will be an offensive foul. Here's Miller. Giants staying in this zone defense. Miller at the elbow, backing down, kicks out to Evans. Shot clock down to 8 seconds. Evans has to go to work, drives inside, takes the bump, and he will go to the line to shoot two. See him able to get past the first defender, and then Ulf, strong foul from him. Evans is saying he was going into his shooting motion there. I think the officials are going to talk things through, whether it's going to be a foul on the floor or shooting foul. You see Evans just pleading his case to the referees. It will be a foul on David Ulf, but it is going to be a sideline play. Miller to get us back underway, finds Evans. 13 on the shot clock as Giants are staying in this zone defense. Ball comes off the foot of Ulf. Shot clock will be reset to 14. It's going to be Jacob now to inbound. Gets it back from Miller. Evans finds Rogers in the corner. Josh Rogers drains it. It's going to be a long 2, foot on the line. Here's Steele. Finds Ulf, who hands back to Steele. Steele looking for Whelan on the wing. Pulls up for three, is no good. Mike Miller grabs in the rebound. Rogers again for three. Back iron, no good. There's McKnight. Ulf looking for Steele. Steele drives inside, fakes it. Great fake from Steele. Nowhere to go, but finds Whelan, who puts it too long. Jacob and Steele chasing it down. Great hustle from Steele to win it. Miller was looking for an offensive foul. Nothing called by the officials, and it will stay with Steele. There's 5 on the shot clock, though. And Whelan has to shoot here. 2 on the shot clock, puts it up, draws the foul. And that will be a frustrating one as a coach because just 1 second left on the shot clock as Whelan draws the shooting foul as he drives to the basket. And Jordan Whelan earns himself a trip to the line. Zach Simmons, Trajan Jacob both take a seat. Thomas Edwards and Delpesh return to the game for the Bristol Flyers. Of course, Jordan Whelan, the brother of Pat Whelan, just lifted the BBL Championship League title last week with the Leicester Riders. Whelan goes 2 for 2 from the line. It's been a low-scoring start to this fourth quarter, just 2 points apiece so far. 8 minutes to go in the game. Evans looking for Rogers. Thought about the 3, but drives it inside, all the way to the hole, lays it up, too strong on the layup, but Delpesh gathers in the rebound. A new 14 here for the Flyers. Thomas Edwards, extra pass to Rogers, corner 3, no good on that one. And now Steele grabs the board. Giants have numbers if they're quick. Ball into McKnight, can't finish the layup. Artisan on the rebound, no good. Gathered in by Delpesh. The Giants have just struggled to get anything going here in this second half. Miller at the elbow, lobbed inside to Delpesh. Good move, and Delpesh puts it in. Reverse layup off the glass. And it's turned over by the Giants. And Bristol will get it back here. I think Rogers is going to take a seat for the Flyers. Shane Walker is going to return to the game. And there you see that turnover from Bristol. It's going to be a timeout called on the floor. Flyers with a 70-point to 53 lead. 7.5 minutes to go. They're led by as many as 18 points, the Flyers. They trailed by as many as 9 in the first quarter. Able to weather the early storm. They went toe for toe for the rest of the first half. Outscored Manchester 26 to 15 in the second. Taken advantage going into the half-time break. And then from then on, they outscored them 24 to 16 in the third. And it has been a low-scoring fourth quarter so far, which I'm sure Manchester Giants will want to talk about right now in this timeout. Trajan Jacob remains the game's leading scorer. 18 points for him to go along with 4 rebounds. Marcus Evans not far behind. 15 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds for him. It's been a great all-round effort from him tonight. And for the Manchester Giants, they are led by Artisan on 13. Dan Clark has 11. But of course, no Tariq Armstrong tonight, who sat out the game on Sunday against Surrey as well. We did see him warming up here this evening, but coach obviously not opting to play him here tonight. Big games coming up for them, of course, Manchester. A big playoff push for them. They're pretty much there. And I'm sure they'll be saving him for playoff time. Here's Evans. Swings to Miller. Miller drives inside. Layup off the glass, no good. But there's Delpesh on the follow, who puts it in. And this is Bristol Flyers' biggest lead of the game at 19 points. Steele. Stolen by Miller. Evans. Great defense from the Flyers, and Evans lays it up, can't finish. There's Miller on the follow. And Mike Miller's been active on the offensive glass all night long. Almost stolen again by the Flyers as Steele brings it up over the timeline. Not loose by Jacob. And Bristol and Manchester Giants have really struggled to contain the backcourt duo of Bristol on the defensive end. Been active in the passing lanes. They've knocked loose balls away. They've really fought the Bristol Flyers. They know exactly what's at stake here in their push for the playoffs. Hudson back into the game for Manchester. Drives open lane all the way to the hole. It's going to be a goaltending on Shane Walker. The basket will count. You can see it here on the replay. Yeah, Shane Walker just tapped the backboard. And the points will count. And Flyers will inbound from the baseline. Here's Delpesh. Hands back to Miller, now top to Evans. Bristol will use every second out of this clock. Walker finds Evans. Ball screen comes from Delpesh. Evans step back. Three-pointer is good, knocks it down. And Evans with a little shimmy. He enjoyed that one, Evans. Jacob falls to the deck. An offensive foul is going to be called on Whelan. Here you see that step back from Evans. He pulls up for three, knocks it down, and then a little shimmy on the back on defense. Technical foul has been called on Jordan Whelan for complaining about the foul that was called. It will be his second foul of the evening, and Bristol Flyers will head to the line. They certainly sense the win here. Miller converts on the free throw for the technical foul. Flyers will get it back here. Evans brings it up over the timeline. It's guarded by Hudson. Midway through the fourth quarter. Shane Walker going to hand off with Jacob. Nowhere to go, but finds Delpesh. Delpesh up against Clark, driving inside. Almost lost control, but fakes it once, fakes it twice. No good on the layup. Last touch by Gino Artisan, and it'll go back to the Bristol Flyers. Evans to inbound. Finds Jacob. Jacob travels with the ball, and that'll go back to Manchester. Just shuffled his feet as he caught the ball. Here's Hudson. Hudson guarded closely by Evans, and a foul is called on Marcus Evans. Just a second team foul of the quarter, though. Corey Samuels returns to the game for Bristol Flyers. Marcus Evans takes a seat. 18 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 5 rebounds for him. It has really been an all-around game. He's also got 5 steals as well. Hudson, guarded by Samuels. Skips it inside to Artisan, floats it up and floats it in. Gino Artisan responds to the Flyers' run. Corey Samuels looking for Shane Walker inside, and Flyers turn it over there. Need to be careful, the Flyers. Just need to see this game out. Here is Hudson. Brings it up over the halfway line. He's guarded by Corey Samuels. Offensive foul is called on Artisan for the moving screen, says the referee. You can see it here on the replay. Yeah, you can see it as he barges into Samuels. That'll be the 15th foul on Manchester, so Bristol are in a bonus now for the last 4.5 minutes of the fourth. Here's Corey Samuels, comes off the foot and it's stolen. An unsportsmanlike foul is called on Samuels on the play after the steal by Hudson. He was the last man to the basket. Looked like he got the ball from what I saw, but see if we can see it on the replay. There you see it. Yeah, it could have easily been called either way, but unsportsmanlike foul is called, so it's going to be 2 shots in possession for the Giants. Hudson no good on the first. Second is no good as well. They will get possession though after the Hudson steal. Here's Anderson, hands back to Hudson. It's guarded by Miller. Ends up with Clark. Drives inside, all the way to the hole. Able to draw the foul on Miller. And that will send Dan Clark to the line to shoot two. It's great recognition from Clark as Flyers switched on defense and Clark had Miller on him and used his strength to his advantage. He drives it inside and draws the foul. First is good for Clark, who gets his personal tally up to 12 points so far this evening. He's also got 3 rebounds and 2 assists. Walker tips the rebound to Miller. Flyers will come the other way. Here's Jacob, who finds it top to Mike Miller. Rogers. Walker's open, pulls up for 3. No good on the triple, but an offensive rebound by Malcolm Delpesh. And another foul called on the floor, which will send Delpesh to the line to shoot 2. Malcolm Delpesh has been doing that all season long, creating second chance opportunities for the Bristol Flyers. And that time gets rewarded with a trip to the line. He's had a couple of quiet games in recent weeks, Malcolm Delpesh, but 16 points and 6 rebounds so far tonight. He's averaging around 17 points per game for the Bristol Flyers. Second one is good for him. Ball comes off the knee of Hudson and it goes back to the Flyers. Mike Miller swings to Delpesh on the elbow. Kicks it back out to Miller. Back inside to Delpesh. Extra pass to Walker. Back out to Miller. That has to shoot with the shot clock winding down. Miller's jumper from the elbow, no good. Hudson is with it. Here is Hudson, guarded by Shane Walker. Finds, well, back to Hudson. Hudson drives inside, up against Walker and count it, and the foul. And Hudson took one on the arm, but he will go to the line for a bonus. Strong move off the glass and in. Lefty layup was good for him. You see him just clutching that arm as he took a stinger. Bonus is good. And Dan Clark and Shane Walker having a few words here. Bit of full court pressure being shown by Manchester. There's 3 minutes to go in the game. Foul is called, and that will send Mike Miller to the line to shoot 2. Foul called on Anderson. That will be his 4th personal foul on him. Mike Miller finds himself at the free throw line. 15 points and 7 rebounds. 4 assists for him. Was joined the team from the Den Helder Suns, who he played for before the COVID shutdown. Was an assistant coach at North Texas during the COVID season last year. Here's Whelan. Top to Clark. Now Armstrong, an offensive foul is called on Dan Clark. And they've been called with that screen time and time again, and Dan Clark picks up a technical. And I think that's is that his second technical foul? Because if it is, Dan Clark's gone. As he walks past the Flyers bench. And that is Dan Clark's night done after picking up his second technical foul. David Olf will come into the game for Manchester to see off this game. And I think that just about sums up the frustration from Manchester on this game this evening. The technical free throw is good for Miller. Just over 2.5 minutes to go in this one. Flyers with a 20-point lead at home to the Giants. It's a big game for their playoff. Delpesh throws it down. Malcolm Delpesh with the nail in the coffin. I was saying it's going to be a big win for their playoff push, the Flyers. Whelan's three is no good. The offensive rebound is gathered in for McKnight, who can't make the baseline two. Coach Kapula's just saying, slow things down here with 2 minutes to go in the fourth. Walker hands back to Miller. Ball screen comes from Delpesh. Miller kicks to Jacob. Baseline three and a foul is called on McKnight. Trajan Jacob will head to the line to shoot three. Just the first personal on McKnight though. But Jacob at the line. It's been a fantastic evening for him. 18 points, 4 rebounds, 4 for 6 from behind the three-point line. In just under 30 minutes as well. And I think that's the number that Coach Kapoulis will be most happy with, as you know, he plays 27 minutes. Big games coming up now the rest of this week. They got Surrey away from home tomorrow at Surrey Sports Park. They then hit the road to take on the Newcastle Eagles in a huge game up at the Virtue Motors Arena on Friday. And then on Monday, they are back here at the Wise campus taking on the Newcastle Eagles once again. And you can watch that game and every game this season right here on the BBL Player. Here is Whelan, guarded by Jacob. Takes a screen from Ulf. Whelan to the basket. Great pass into Ulf, and a foul is called on Rogers. And that will send David Ulf to the line to shoot two. And working that two-man game fantastically well. A good opportunity now for Ulf to convert from the line. Of course, didn't play too much in the first half of the campaign, but it's been a big boost to their front court since rejoining the club, and 5.6 points, 5.8 rebounds per game for him. Can't convert on the second, but gathers in the offensive rebound, and that is exactly what Ulf does best for Manchester Giants. Here's Whelan, guarded by Walker. A foul is called on Walker, and he puts his hand up saying, yep, that's on me, as he was holding Ulf on the screen. Well, that will send Ulf back to the line because Flyers are in the penalty now. Well, they're just calling on the floor wiper to just tend to a spot on the court up by the three-point line. Alf no good on the second, and he'll have one more free throw because players went in a bit early on the free throw. So he will shoot another free throw here. And he converts on the third free throw. It's going to be Miller to inbound from the baseline. Miller. Finds Walker. Swings to Miller. Ball screen comes from Delpesh, slips to the basket. Jacobs open for three. No good on the triple, and Ulf chased down the rebound. Whelan shoots the three, no good on the triple. Offensive rebound by Ulf, but coughs it up to Josh Rogers. As we enter the final minute of this game. Miller. Finds Jacob, drives baseline. Reverse layup is no good. There's Delpesh on the follow. And Malcolm Delpesh is up to 21 points to go along with his 9 rebounds. Saunders looks to respond with a three and knocks it down. Step outside the three-point line is good. There's 7 seconds between shot and game clock here, so Flyers will need to get a shot up, but it's been a fantastic evening for them. Stolen back by Manchester. McKnight goes coast to coast. Ball slips out of Saunders' hands, and I think that play just about sums up Manchester's night here tonight in Bristol. Well, Flyers will just see this one out here. It's going to be a big win for the Bristol Flyers, who have defeated the Manchester Giants 87 points to 66. And that is a big result for Flyers in their push for the BBL playoffs. Start of a busy week for them. The first of 4 games over the next 7 days. They started it off the right way. And tomorrow they'll look to make this result count. And they head over to Surrey to take on the Surrey Scorchers. It was a huge game for Malcolm Delpesh, who was the game's leading scorer. 21 points and 9 rebounds for him. And Trajan Jacob not far behind with